Hi friends, welcome to my new kitchen and my new home. So I'm super excited to be in the kitchen today with you. I have not filmed a video in over a month and a half, and so a couple of people have asked me about it, and I am really excited to be in the kitchen today making soup on this snowy, icy day. In Kentucky, we're having terrible weather, and it's only supposed to get colder, and another storm's coming in. So today is the perfect day to be at home and cooking. And so I encourage you to get your family in the kitchen and create something fun together. And so I am cooking another meal out of my new favorite cookbook so far is the super simple half-baked harvest cookbook that my friend got me, and I've made several things out of it. And today we're making creamy chicken gnocchi soup. Now the difference in gnocchi and pasta is gnocchi is sort of like an Italian dumpling. It is made with potato, whereas pasta is just made with flour and water. So anyway, I want to let you know what I've already started, and that is the chicken. Now I am not doing the full, I'm kind of cutting it down a little bit because it's just Daryl and I, and we don't need a huge pot. But I browned 2 skinless, boneless chicken breasts in my Dutch oven in olive oil, salt and pepper, that's it. So they're resting over here. Now, browning meat, we have talked about this before. Leave your meat out at room temperature for maybe 10-15 minutes, salt, pepper, leave it sitting on the counter right before you sear it. That will give it a great crust. That way you're not putting ice cold meat into your pan in olive oil. The other tip is to get your pan super hot right before you make sure it's hot before you add the olive oil. Don't heat your pan and bring it up to heat with the oil in it. It will only smoke and not be good. So hot pan, when it's hot, add the oil, tablespoon or so, then add your meat, and you want to hear that really high sizzle, and don't touch it. That's the other thing. Don't try to lift it. You're gonna tear the meat. Just leave it alone, 2 to 3 minutes on either side. It's gonna finish cooking in the soup. Okay, so that is that. I'm gonna bring my pot back over, turn this down a little bit, and we're gonna add a little bit more olive oil because we are gonna start with our onion. Oh my gosh, this soup looks amazing, and so I know it will be. Anyway, we finally got moved in. I literally just unpacked the very last, I think, the very last box in the basement. I finally did that today, so that's good. I'm telling you, moving is not for the faint at heart. I told the girls that I work with, is the difference moving when you're in your 20s and 30s and when you're moving when you're older. Not that we're old, but our bodies tend to they don't bounce back as they used to. All right, so 1 small onion. Now, we've talked about dicing before. This is this new really cool sharp knife I got for Christmas. Super sharp. That's what you want when you're in the kitchen. You don't want something dull. I actually do not, I don't think that I need this whole entire onion, so we're not gonna do it. Now, I'm gonna have to kind of play around with where my phone is as far as like videoing and stuff. This is the very first video I've done in this kitchen. And so this may not work. So bear with me, I'll have to experiment and see. So we're gonna brown, caramelize half an onion. Don't need the full thing. And actually we're gonna do our carrots next. Now I'm cheating, I'm using this because this is what I had. And so you can use whatever you want. The recipe, ooh, those are strong. The recipe calls for 3 carrots. I don't need quite that many. So we're just gonna do, because remember, I kind of indoctrinate up this. Okay, so that's kind of what I do. I love cookbooks and I love to read them. I think you can learn so many things from reading cookbooks, and I love looking at pictures, and I love looking at it and thinking, okay, how can I make this my own? So there are a few things in this: carrots, onion, garlic, mushroom, chicken, seasonings. We are going to use thyme, paprika, a bay leaf, some red pepper flakes, and then a Parmesan rind. Now, the Parmesan rind, I always freeze. I've told you all this before. I mean, it works for me. I just throw it in a little baggie when I'm done grating it and keep them in the freezer. And so I add them to soups and stews and things like that. So that's what we're gonna do. Okay, so onion is in here. Carrot is in here. Remember, season as you go. A little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. Stir. I'm gonna add a little bit of butter. Butter makes everything better, right? This soup looks amazing, and I have not made it. It also calls for white wine. So anytime I'm cooking with white wine, why not, right? Cheers. Cheers to the weekend, and cheers to Valentine's Day too. Happy Valentine's Day to all of you. And whether you have a loved one at home or you're single, I hope that you find something really fun to do and fun to make, and treat yourself and do something really cool for yourself. Single friends out there, go get a manicure and pedicure, buy yourself a cute little outfit, or okay. And so we need garlic. We're gonna do, these are pretty good size. I'm gonna do 2 heads of garlic. So we moved to Louisville a little over a year ago and weren't really sure where we were going to end up. We weren't really sure if Louisville, if we were, you know, we didn't really know where to buy. And so it took us it took us a year. We lived in this cute little condo. I've posted pictures about it. We just loved it. It was perfect for us. Awesome, awesome, awesome location. And realized really soon, really quick, that we wanted to be on the east end of Louisville. And so anyway, we were blessed enough to find a house after looking at about 100 and, you know, bought it and moved in. And so we are really loving it, and we're getting settled. And so anyway, it's fun. It's only 5 miles further from our condo, where our condo was, and so it's not that much more further for me to drive. So right now I'm just mincing the garlic. And for this, I don't want big chunks of garlic in my soup, so I'm going to really, really, really chop it. And when chopping like this, you leave the sharp end of the knife on the board, And it's just a rocking motion, just like this. Okay. All right, to this onion and carrot mixture, we're gonna add some mushrooms. Now, I'm using already sliced baby bella mushrooms, and I'm only going to use half of this container. So this, in goes the garlic. That's where the magic happens. Love it. I love the smell. I love it. It's good for you. It's just fabulous. Now, I have to read because I think, all right, so it calls for 2 bay leaves. I'm only going to do 1. Bay leaf is one of those, to be honest, I think bay leaf kind of smells like oregano a little bit. You find them in soups that cook for a long time, and that's what it is. We're gonna drop it in there. How much time? And then I think what we're doing, this is a tablespoon. So we're gonna do half a tablespoon, because remember, I cut this recipe in half. A little bit of smoky paprika, and that is a teaspoon, which there's that. Super simple. Now, we will not put the red pepper flakes until the end. Don't ask me why. I don't really know why. I always do that. I always put it at the very end, so I don't know. But this is coming together beautifully. So the onions are caramelizing, the mushrooms are crisping up and browning up and just looking gorgeous. When it comes to this state, we're gonna let it cook for just another minute or so, and we're going to give it a splash of white wine. Then we're gonna do our vegetable broth. The recipe calls for chicken broth. I'm using vegetable broth. I like it better. I think it's way more full flavor. I'm adding Chateau Saint Michelle, Chardonnay. The recipe calls for, I think, a cup. We just did about a half a cup. And then we are gonna do our vegetable broth. Now, I think this is 5 cups. I definitely don't need 5 cups. So let's measure. See how gorgeous this is? I'm gonna do 2. Now, chicken broth is not this rich. You see that? I'm telling you, magic. When your recipes call for chicken broth and you switch it to vegetable broth, I promise you, you're gonna see a difference. You're gonna taste a difference. I don't know. It's just, it's just full of flavor. I love it. Okay, so, this looks good. Okay, let's clean this up a little bit. Probably a good time for my rind to go in. That's all it is. It's the excess of Parmesan cheese I buy all the time. We eat it with almost everything. And I make a lot of Italian and stuff for the kids when they come. So I just use these. We're just gonna stick it into the soup. And then later, because this is gonna cook for a little while, and a little bit later, we will pull it out at the end. And the soup, it just gives the soup a depth of flavor. A little bit more salt, a little bit more pepper. And we're gonna cut this chicken up. That can go straight in there. That was just the excess from the chicken breast where it was resting. Now, it's okay, this chicken happens to be done because it wasn't very thick. You don't have to cook your chicken all the way. It can finish cooking in the soup. So if you take it off and start to cut into it and your chicken isn't done, it's okay because it's gonna finish cooking in the soup. Oh, this looks good. Okay, let me wash my hands really quick. I'm thinking about, Daryl and I are thinking about doing a cooking video together tomorrow on Valentine's night. Wouldn't that be so fun? He's so funny. And that is really good. And I'm not really a big Chardonnay drinker, but that's good. So anyway, stay tuned because I swear I think I'm going to make him do a video with me. I think it'll be a lot of fun. I love when we're in the kitchen cooking together, and we always have a really, really, really good time. And so I thought I'd invite you and bring you along for the entertainment. So, okay. So I think, gosh, this looks good. We need heavy cream. And let's see how much it calls for. It calls for 3/4 a cup. We don't quite need that much. Okay. I'm gonna let this finish cooking for probably 30 minutes, 45, and then I'm gonna add the gnocchi to it. Now, you can make your own gnocchi if you're brave enough to do so. I just buy it, you can buy it in the store. And again, the difference is gnocchi has potato in it, pasta does not. And they're just like little dumplings. They're delicious. And so I'm gonna wait to add this till the very end. But anyway, of course, I will photograph it and post the picture and the full recipe. Again, it's from Half Baked Harvest. Super simple. I'm telling you, super simple. You saw me do it. It's coming together. It smells divine. It's gonna be great on this really, really, really cold day. And anyway, I hope you've enjoyed it. I can't wait to see you again. And have a great Valentine's Day weekend, everybody.